Post-journalism refers to a shift in the media landscape that has been occurring over the past few decades, particularly with the rise of digital media. This term encompasses several changes in how news is produced, distributed, and consumed, as well as the economic models that support media organizations. Here are some key aspects of post-journalism. Traditional journalism was primarily delivered through newspapers, television, and radio. In the post-journalism era, digital platforms, including news websites, social media, and podcasts, have become the primary sources of news for many people. The dominance of digital and social media in the post-journalism era represents a fundamental shift in the media landscape, with profound implications for how news is produced, distributed, and consumed. This transformation is characterized by several key developments. Digital platforms have made news accessible anytime, anywhere. Unlike traditional media, which operated on fixed schedules, digital news is constantly updated in real time. This immediacy means that consumers no longer have to wait for the morning paper or evening news to stay informed. They can access the latest information with a few clicks or taps on their devices. Digital media has introduced an interactive dimension to news consumption. Readers are not just passive recipients of news. They can engage with content through comments, shares, and likes. This interactivity also extends to news production, with citizen journalism and user-generated content becoming more common. Social media platforms enable users to report events directly, often providing eyewitness accounts that traditional media might not capture. The internet has led to an explosion in the number of news sources, allowing people to select outlets that align with their interests and viewpoints. This contrasts with the era of limited news sources, which tended to aim for a broad mainstream audience. The result is a more fragmented media landscape with niche audiences. The decline in print advertising and the difficulty of securing digital advertising in the face of competition from tech giants like Google and Facebook have forced many news organizations to seek alternative streams of revenue. This includes subscriptions, memberships, and sponsored content, leading to changes in how news content is created and distributed. In some cases, there's a shift towards prioritizing content that drives engagement over traditional journalistic values like objectivity and impartiality. This can lead to sensationalism or the proliferation of content that confirms the audience's biases. Social media and search engines use algorithms to determine which news stories are shown to users, influencing public discourse and the visibility of news content. These algorithms prioritize engagement, which can affect the type of news content that becomes popular. Platforms like Facebook, X, and Google News use complex algorithms to curate news feeds and search results based on individual user preferences, search histories, and engagement patterns. This prioritization can create echo chambers or filter bubbles where users are predominantly exposed to viewpoints that reinforce their own beliefs and biases. Many factors, including the spread of misinformation, the perceived bias of media outlets, and political polarization, have contributed to a decline in public trust in traditional news sources. The barrier to entry for publishing news has dramatically lowered in the digital age, leading to a proliferation of news sources. We have blogs, independent websites, and even social media influencers can now reach large audiences with their content. This diversification has increased the variety of perspectives available, but also presents challenges in verifying the credibility of sources. The dominance of digital and social media in news dissemination has significant implications for democracy and public discourse. The speed at which information spreads can amplify misinformation and disinformation, affecting public opinion and political processes. The role of tech companies in moderating content and the balance between free speech and preventing harm are ongoing debates. The digital age has introduced new ways of storytelling, including interactive articles, data journalism, and multimedia content, which allow for more immersive and engaging ways to present news stories. Digital platforms have also expanded the types of content that can be included in the news, with multimedia features like videos and interactive graphs, infographics becoming commonplace. This not only makes news more engaging, but also allows for more complex stories to be told in more accessible ways. The shift to digital media has disrupted traditional revenue models for journalism. With the decline of print advertising and the challenges of competing for digital ad revenue against tech giants, many news organizations have struggled financially. This has led to the exploration of new models, such as subscriptions, paywalls, and sponsored content to fund journalism. The rise of digital and social media has transformed the news landscape, offering unprecedented access and interactivity, but also presenting new challenges for journalism, democracy, and how societies stay informed. Post-journalism is not without its critics, who argue that these changes have compromised journalistic standards and contributed to the spread of misinformation. However, proponents see it as an evolution that reflects changing consumer preferences and technological advancements. The challenge for media organizations in the post-journalism era is to find ways to maintain journalistic integrity while adapting to the new landscape.